Hello, I'm Paul Hutchins, President of Sampson Community College, and welcome to this edition of the President's Corner. Today I'm fortunate to have with me the Dean of Student Services at Sampson Community College, Amy Noel. Amy, welcome. Good to have an opportunity to visit with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Hutchins. I appreciate you allowing me to be here to talk with you a little while.
Well, let's get right into the things that we wanted to discuss today. First, I'd like, Amy, if you would, to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, and if you would touch on your academic preparation and a little bit about your work history.
Okay. I have a bachelor's degree in communication from Radford University in Virginia, and then I went on to earn a master's degree in public administration through the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. And I've been working here at the college now for 15 years, which still seems unbelievable sometimes to think it's been that long. But 15 years ago, I started as the distance learning coordinator. And at that time, we had very few. I think maybe we had 2 online classes and a handful of classes by other delivery methods. So as that program grew and expanded, I was fortunate enough to be able to grow into the director's position. So I served in that capacity until 2007, and the president at that time approached me about serving in the interim as Dean of Student Services. And I'd had a lot of experience working directly with students and faculty and staff, but working in student services was completely different. It was so much more up close and personal, and it was just a great learning experience. It wasn't necessarily anything I had ever necessarily planned or aspired to do, but after being in that role for a full year, once the position was advertised, I felt like that was something I really could put my heart into and wanted to pursue permanently. So I was fortunate enough to be able to remain in that position, and I've been in student services ever since.
Excellent. Well, now, if you would, Amy, would you talk a little bit about your role? What all is encompassed as the responsibilities for the Dean of Student Services at Sampson Community College? Well,
I have responsibility for oversight and management of the Student Services Division, and so that encompasses admissions, counseling, disability services, financial aid, and student life. So it's a pretty broad area. Also, the registrar's office falls under student services as well. So any functions related to admissions, enrollment, financial aid, and whatever support services students need throughout their time at the college.
And all of those components are critical to a student's success in post-secondary education at a community college. Could I get you to talk a little bit more specifically about each one of those areas and perhaps how it helps students really have an opportunity to be successful?
Absolutely. With admissions, we have our Director of Admissions, Ms. Hare, and our Career Specialist, Mr. Gillespie, who works directly with high school students. We really try to promote making contact with prospective students early on. And they try to be very visible and attend as many events and activities as they can, just to ensure that we're getting the word out about what Sampson Community College has to offer, about our programs, and about the benefits of coming to a community college. Whether you plan to go into the workforce or transfer to a 4-year college or university, there's tremendous benefit either way. And we always tell students it is never too soon to apply for admission. You know, even as juniors in high school, they can go ahead and be thinking along those lines and working toward getting that process started. So they talk a lot to prospective students, to parents and families about what is involved, because it is a process, and how important it is to start making those contacts early on. Then we also have counseling. We have 2 full-time counselors, and they provide a range of counseling services. They primarily do admissions counseling when students are going through program selection. They also do academic counseling to try to help students maybe focus on strategies that would improve their success in the classroom and outside as well. And then they do a certain amount of personal counseling as well. And we really encourage students to take advantage of counseling services, because we tell them, even if you're very well prepared, even if you are motivated and determined, college is hard work, and there are a lot of challenges associated with being a college student, and then sometimes those are multiplied by outside obligations with family or work or whatever the situation may be, and it can be overwhelming. So we really try to encourage students to come in, talk with someone early on. They can't solve all the problems of the world, but they can listen objectively, and they can try to help develop strategies to overcome those things, and also provide referrals for services the college does not provide, like child care or mental health services. We have disability services, which is another critical component of what we do to accommodate students who self-identify as having disabilities. Our disability services coordinator, Dr. Smith, works very hard to ensure that students are accommodated, to make sure they have access to programs, services, activities, anything that's provided by the college. And the range of accommodations varies greatly. It could be anything from a visual aid or a physical accommodation to, we have a lot of students who receive extended time for taking tests if they have test-taking anxiety or issues like that. Financial aid is another component of student services that is vital. Our students, I would say approximately 90% of our students receive some form of financial aid, and the college offers the federal student aid, or also known as Pell Grant, and then a variety of federal, state, and local scholarships. And we have 2 full-time financial aid staff members who work very hard to try to help students and try to make sure that any financial barriers that might prohibit them from furthering their education are reduced or minimized to the greatest extent possible. So that's very important. And then last but not least, we have student life. We have an active student government association. Ms. Brewington is the advisor for that, and all of our curriculum students are members of that association, and we really encourage them to get involved, to participate in planning activities and events, and not just come in to hang out and enjoy. We want them to do that too, but of course, as you know, research indicates that that is one of the single best predictive factors for student success in the long term, is having them be engaged in things on campus outside of the classroom. So we've really done a lot to try to promote and try to grow our student life program here at the college.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Amy. We're going to pause now for these messages, and we'll be back with more of the President's Corner in just a moment.
If you need help paying for college or career school, the Office of Federal Student Aid might be your best option. We offer more than $150 billion to students each year in the form of grants, loans, and work-study funds. And federal student aid can be used to pay for school expenses, such as tuition, room and board, and books and supplies. After you've filled out the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, you'll receive an award letter from each school you list on your FAFSA. This letter explains both the federal and non-federal financial aid options that a school is offering you. So let's talk about federal aid. If you qualify for and receive a federal grant, you won't have to repay the money. That will definitely help offset the cost of school, but you may still need additional help. If so, a federal student loan might be your answer. Remember, a student loan is just like any other loan. It's borrowed money that will have to be repaid with interest. If you plan to take out a loan, consider federal student loans first. Compared to private student loans, federal student loans often have lower fixed interest rates and offer many benefits that you won't find otherwise. For example, when it's time for you to repay your federal student loan, your loan servicer can work with you to find the best repayment plan for your individual needs. Plus, you may be able to adjust your loan payments based on your income. You also may be able to defer your federal loan payments, deduct student loan interest on your taxes, and even consolidate your eligible federal student loans into one loan with one monthly payment. Federal loans can even be forgiven based on certain types of employment. Getting a work-study job is another great option to help pay for school. Eligible undergraduate and graduate students will be able to earn at least minimum wage. If you have questions or need assistance, you can contact the financial aid office at your college or career school, or visit studentaid.gov for more information.
Welcome back to the President's Corner. Today I'm visiting with the Dean of Student Services at Sampson Community College, Amy Noel. Amy, I wanted now to kind of move into some of the other things that you are working really closely with here at the college. One is related to our reaffirmation of accreditation, which was the development of a quality enhancement plan, and then also our completion by design initiative here at the college. So could you tell the viewers a little bit about those two aspects of how we're trying to enhance student success here at Sampson Community College.
Certainly. With the Quality Enhancement Plan, or the QEP, which is called A Voice, which is advising to value opportunities in career and education, we really made a strong institutional commitment to looking at how we could improve and enhance the students' first year experience. And that came about as a result of seeking input from our students, our faculty and staff, from community members, board members, across the board. We just started to see that we felt like there was a lot more we could do in way of better preparing them, better informing them when they first came in, and trying to give them a toolkit, if you will, of resources and knowledge that they could use and build upon to be successful as students here at the college. So one of the very first things we did back in the fall of 2013 was to completely redesign our new student orientation. And previous to that, new student orientation had been a one-day, one-shot, once in the fall, once in the spring event. And if students couldn't come and attend that one, then they just missed out on that information. And so in doing some research and looking at the literature, we realized that we needed to expand that exponentially. We needed to be providing multiple sessions for new student orientation, multiple days and times. And so we started to do that, and that has worked very well. We've increased our participation in student services, or in the new student orientation, tremendously, and we are monitoring and tracking them, of course, throughout their progression to see how they'll do as we continue on. And we continue to look at assessment data from students, and they still tell us things like they feel like they need more information about program choices, about job opportunities. So we continue to adjust and revise our admissions processes to try to incorporate those elements as well. And then our orientation courses that are required for all degree and diploma programs, they were also redesigned, and they were developed with the student success being central to the whole process, having them be more engaged in doing activities and exercises that allow the students to become more self-aware and maybe to realize where their strengths and weaknesses were and how they could improve upon both of those things. As far as completion by design, or CBD, for any of the viewers who may not be familiar with that, that was a nationwide initiative that started through the Gates Foundation, and then the North Carolina Community College system adopted that initiative as well. So Sampson Community College became a completion by design college fall of 2013 as well. And it's essentially a companion piece to the QEP in the sense that the QEP focuses on really building a strong foundation very early on to help students be successful. And then CBD picks up and it focuses on making sure that we have services and supports in place to help students persist and to stay enrolled and complete their degree and diploma programs in a timely manner.
Excellent. Now I want to switch gears a little bit and get you to talk for just a few minutes about how our Student Services Division has changed over the years since you have been the dean. What are some of the changes that you've seen take place, either within the structure of how we provide services, or perhaps how students have responded to the different services we provide?
Well, I'd like to think that over the years we have really developed a strong commitment to a process of continuous improvement and to not being satisfied with the status quo, to always look for ways that we could improve services to students, to ways that we could make things better and more efficient. And that mindset has allowed us to change some of our business processes. We've implemented online services for admissions, for registration, for financial aid, and we continue to want to look to offer more of those types of services that would be available to students at any time and any place. And our staff, we have an excellent staff who are genuinely committed to making sure that students succeed and doing whatever they can to help. And so they are always looking for ways to improve and making suggestions for things they hear based on feedback from students. And we monitor surveys and evaluation results pretty closely, and we try to make adjustments and changes where we can, and we just continue to move forward in trying to ensure that we're providing the very best level of customer service that we possibly can, and making sure that everyone who visits the college has a good experience.
All right. What do you enjoy most about being the Dean of Student Services here at Sampson Community College?
Oh, that one's easy. I would say being able to see the progression of students as they come through the college. Seeing them when they first start out, and oftentimes they're very hesitant, they're very unsure of their abilities and their goals. And then as you see them start to gain the knowledge and the support that they really need to build their self-confidence, it really is a transformative process. And over the years, I've been so fortunate to see many students go through that change and to see them go on to be very successful. And just seeing not only the students that excel academically, but those who have overcome significant hardships and setbacks, both personally and academically. Seeing those students walk across the stage, in a professional sense, I can't think of many things that would be more rewarding than seeing the sense of pride and accomplishment that they take away from Sampson Community College.
Excellent. Now, for those that are viewing, if they would like more information about the different services that are provided through Student Support Services, how would you encourage people to get in touch?
I would say please visit the Student Services section of the college's website. There's a lot of information there about all of the services that we've talked about today, and there's also contact information for each Student Services staff member. Please feel free to call us, to email us, and of course, if you're in the area, don't hesitate to stop by and see us in person in the Student Services Division in the North Building.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining me today, and I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you about the Student Services Division.
Thank you, Dr. Hutchins.
The motto at Sampson Community College is begin here and go anywhere. As you can see by the program today, our Student Services Division is critically important to students being successful here at Sampson Community College. Thank you for joining us for the President's Corner, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next month.